Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, I did finish the week with 14 wins and 3 losses for a win rate of 82.35%. My goal is 85% plus, so I was just shy of that. Probably 1 win and 1 loss away would have definitely changed that. So, not a bad week. I'm not going to complain. It was still pretty good. With that said, I'm just going to jump right into it. Monday, which was the 22nd, I believe. Let me just make sure I get the dates right. Yeah, 22nd. Took 5 trades, 4 wins and 1 loss on Monday. Traded his room, I said SPY calls over 499, which is right here. We had a nice little drop, so I was thinking we were going to get a pop. We didn't get a pop right at open. Let's see, I took calls at 9:55, which was this candle right here. So I was expecting, the market to have a bounce on Monday, because I think it was like 5 red days in a row. I think at this point in time, let's see, is this Monday? Yeah, see, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red days in a row. So I was expecting a green day, a strong green day, because anytime we have a lot of red days in a row, something ends up happening, and I thought it was going to take off here. I did take calls over a higher day. I took to 50, 10 calls at 650, and then went from 650 to 730. Got a little bit of a win out of that, not much. It kind of, the pre-market highs acted as solid resistance, and it just dumped right here. Then I decided to try to take, I took it again. I reloaded the same ones, the 50, 10 calls at 610 this time, and it flushed right after I got in, so I ended up stopping out at 3. Then I put it at 1053, which is right here. I get this massive red candle. FU setup, went up to VWAP, got rejected. So when it came back below the 496.40 area, I grabbed the 49.65 puts. I grabbed them at 740, and they went from 740 to 1670 right there. So that ended up being a really good play. Then I bought calls at 1152, which is right here. After you set up on the way up, it's 2 strong green candles, red candle at the VWAP. So I took calls right over the high of this candle right here. We'll just run up to say 497. I took the 49.90 calls at 770, and actually I said this wrong. I said I got the puts at 740, which I got at 740, but they only went to 940. I said they went to 16. They didn't. It was this one. This one went from 770 to 16. So I got the 2 mixed up. Got ahead of myself. But yeah, 740 to 940 here, and from 770 to 670 up, 1670 here. So that was a 100% move on that. Broke high a day. Quickly got rejected. It came back up, and just took off. And I was not expecting that. Probably should have, though. I mean, get pre-market high. I mean, looking at it now, inverted head and shoulders. You get the left, the head, and the right shoulder. I didn't think it was going to do that. I actually thought it was going to do this right here, from here on, right here. It was going to go 1, 2, and then just take off right here. But it didn't. It dropped, and that kind of had me thinking, okay, maybe we're not going to have a green day, or we're going to have a red day, and we're going to just squeak by getting green at the last minute. So, but it just ended up being a strong move that didn't really have much conviction, and it didn't have any red candles, so you were just chasing it or waiting. So I just waited. But I finally took puts at 320, which is right here. I took it under 500, I think. I think that's where I grabbed it, underneath 500. I broke 500. That's when I grabbed the 50-25 puts at 650. And they went from 650 to 890 right there. So a little bit of a play, not that much. So not a bad start to the week. So I'm not going to complain about that. Just I played it wrong. What threw me off, well, it was, like I said, right here. I was expecting from noontime to 2 o'clock right here that green candle, red candle, then it boom, taken off, and it just didn't happen. So Tuesday, 23rd, traded his room. SPY calls over 502, which is 502.50, which is up here. What I picked that? That was such a far number away. Did I get the right day? Why did I pick 502.50? Oh, it was over this high right here. I rounded up. Okay, that's why I did that. So I took puts at 11. I didn't take the calls. I don't know why. We get strong, well, not strong, but we get almost a green candle, not quite a green candle. It's just flat. What is it? We opened at 5. It doesn't say the open. Yeah, 501.79, closed at 5. Closed exactly flat. Crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that. But anyways, I definitely should have bought the calls today, but I didn't. I waited. I bought puts at 1102, which is right here. Had a tail candle, a little FU setup, and it popped up, and then it quickly got shut down. So I grabbed puts, I think, underneath the 504.35, which is the body. I mean, the body and the wicks. And I had the 50-50 puts at $8, and they went from $8 to $8.70. Not much of a play. Then I took calls at 11:22. Right here, it quickly got dropped down, and I thought, okay, we're going to come back up here and we're going to pop. So I got the 50-70 calls at $8, and it finally popped over here, and I got out. So they went from $8 to $8.80. So not much really going on, just a slow grind up, and I really hate days like that. So then I took calls at 12:13. Okay, wait a minute here. 12:13 is right here, so I took calls right here. I took calls right here at 11:22. So I must have got in and out on this candle. Yeah, the 50-72 calls went from $8 to $8.80. So yeah, I must have got in and out of this candle right here. Yeah. And I went, when it came back up here to higher day to 505.20, that's where I grabbed the 50-70 calls again at 690 this time. They went from 690 to 940 right there. So yeah, I think that's exactly what I did right here. I bought right here and I sold up here, and it pulled back. Then when it failed to get right below this candle, made a higher low, and it got up back up to higher day. That's when I bought calls again. So kind of a tricky day. Slow grind day. Then on Wednesday, let's see, Wednesday the 24th, traded his room, SPY puts into 505, which is this low. Actually, we were down here when I called it, so I rounded down to a whole number, 505, which was this area right in here from before. It was acting as support right in there, so. And plus it was nice little, I was right over it here, so I didn't want to call 505.50 because it's right there. So using the previous day's support area and the round number, it seemed like a good idea. So that's what I ended up doing. So I took puts at, let's see, 1016, which is right here. A green candle, broke higher day, fake out. We got this high candle, it acted as resistance. Rejected, had a strong drop right here, but didn't break the new lower day, so I was kind of like, I don't know. Then it came back up here, didn't break higher day, and it came back down. So when it came back down, I grabbed puts right here. I grabbed the 50-60 puts at $6, and they went from $6 to $8.60. So I might have grabbed it right underneath the body of these candles right here, underneath 506.20. Because they went from 6 to 8.60, and that would make sense, them doing that right there. Then I took puts again at 11:44, which is right here. Got a bear flag. Then when it broke below the 504.30-ish area, I grabbed 50-50 puts at $7, and they went from 7 to 10. Not quite sure why I didn't play this FU setup right here, but see, the FU setups, to get the big candles in the green, but lately the FU setups have been hit or miss. I feel like they work better if you have two large candles and then you have the FU candle, then you play it off that. But when you have this big candle right here, it's trappy, especially in the first half an hour of the day. So I'm not quite sure why I didn't play this, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm not gonna get every play. I'm not gonna get every play. Or it could have happened too fast. I think I missed it, to be honest with you. But anyways, I took calls yeah. So I had the puts here that went from $7 to 10. Then I took calls at 314, which is right here. Right, because you can see it got on this VWAP, it started to bounce a little bit, and started to bounce. When it came back up over the body of this candle for over 505.20, that's when I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 50, 65 calls at 650, and they went from 650 to 1340 right there. So that ended up being a good play. I was looking for a push through VWAP, definitely liked that. And look, it just got hammered on. I think that was earnings for, I don't remember what it was, one of the big ones, Meta maybe. Yeah, it was Meta. Then on the 26th, what did I say? Calls over, not 26th, the 25th. Calls over 500 because we get this massive dump right here. So I was thinking, okay, usually when you get this right before open, the market will pop hard and squeeze everybody out. And that's why I was looking at calls, because everybody's going to pile into puts. And when they pile into puts, it ends up causing a squeeze. But it didn't. It kind of actually dropped a little bit. So get the red candle here. When it broke high day right here, I grabbed calls. We have the 50-25 calls at 680. And it ended up dropping. And I stopped out. I stopped out at like 350, so I wasn't too happy about that after seeing this. But like I said, you're reacting to real-time data, and you don't know what the day's gonna turn out to be. I mean, this could have just dumped all the way down to 495. We don't know. We didn't know it was gonna do this. I expected this kind of a move right out of the gate, but with it dropping like this and acting like this, I was like, okay, maybe we're going to range. So, but I did switch to calls at, again, no, I got calls again. I got the 50-20 calls at 1018, which is right here, right when I broke high a day this time. So yeah, I took this one, stopped out, and when it came back up, I got a closer at the money. And I grabbed them at the 50-20 calls at 750. And they went from 750 to 940 in that little push right there. At this point, it's acting like it's going to range, because after the big move, we're not going to squeeze up. We're not having those massive squeezes, I should say. So then I took puts at 1053, which is right here. Right when I was getting ready to break underneath the bodies of this 598.20 area, I was thinking, okay, we're going to dump. And because we had the fake out here, stopped out, we got a pop here, got that play, but didn't really go anywhere, and it came quickly back down to this area that I was looking in to get for short. And so I got the 49.85 puts at $7, and it popped up, and I added an 11.17, which is right here. And the reason I added here was because I was thinking range. I was thinking, okay, this is the top of the range. We're not going to break out. We're going to stay within the 500 to 498, 497 range for the day. So that's why I averaged down right up here, and I just ended up being a loss and didn't end up being a good day. So, I mean, averaging to a loser is usually not a good idea, but when I do average down, I usually average down with the plan, and my average downs end up working out 90% of the time. And because when I do decide to average down, I wait for the perfect area. And the perfect area, I thought at this particular time, was at high a day, thinking we're going to stay in a range. And I'm not a fan of buying calls at low a day and buying puts at high a day, because the SPY could just rage or SPY could flush, and I am not a fan of those of doing that. I hate doing that. I don't. It's out of my comfort zone. Other people do it, and you want to do it, fine. It's up to you, but don't expect me to. And if I do, it's very risky, and I knew it. I was going to take that risk, and it just didn't work out. So it is what it is. So Friday, trade ideas room. SPY puts in a 506. We had the big gap up from I don't remember what it was. Amazon, I think, or someone. I don't remember what their earnings. I can barely remember. Maybe it was Google. It was Google, I think. Anyways, SPY puts in a 506, which is down here from the day. I think. No, I didn't even. It wasn't just. It wasn't. I just rounded down to the whole dollar. First 10-minute candles green. Second, I wasn't gonna touch it. Pre-market high right here, I mean right over here, and it's kind of rejecting a little bit premature to it. So I waited, pulled back to the 20 EMA, which is the blue line of VWAP, bounced back up. So when I broke right here, I took it at about 10:35. So I took it right here. So because it dropped down quickly, got bought back up, and came back up to the 508.75. I thought we were going to take off, and it bounced a little bit. Then it took off. So I got the 51.10 calls at 850, and they went from 850 to 1190 right there. So I was kind of expecting that to do that here, but it chopped and it finally did it. Then it came back down because it had a harsh rejection over a pre-market high. It came back down VWAP, and that got bought. So it's rejecting higher day. It's staying above the 20 EMA, and it's pushing up, making higher lows. So I was like, okay. I took calls again at 11:45, which is right here. I was thinking, okay, we rejected harshly here, but we're holding the 20 EMA. So I took the 51.10 calls again at 7:40, and it finally popped right there. And they went from 7:40 to 9:40 right there. So that ended up being a good play. Then I took puts at 3:40, which is right here. Right underneath, I took it right underneath the bodies of these candles right here. 508. Did I take it under? I think I took it under 509. I took the 51.10 puts under 509. So I got them at $5.30. They went from 530 to 1130 right there. So that ended up being 100% play. But they were like at the money. They might have been in the money at that time. When you're at end of day, they're in the money. Options are right around $5 or $6, and they really go a lot if they on a small move. So that's why it went from 100% on a tiny moves, because they were in the money, and they moved really well at the end of the day. So that was been the week. Kind of tricky here and there. Earnings had a lot to do with it, and I already did the watch list, but next week or this week coming up is going to be tricky too with FOMC. I already explained all that with the watch list, so hopefully we have some volatility and some better plays. So that's going to do it for the recap, and thanks for watching.